What's up, guys? Luna from Max S here. Another reaction video. Falcon's Fury wanted to see Daniel Cormier crying and getting knocked out. I only could find a video of Daniel Cormier crying. I could find another video of him getting knocked out, but I couldn't find them together in one perfect package. So this is what I'm dealing with, what y'all are about to see, which is only 38 seconds, so this is going to be a quick reaction video. I actually have not seen the whole thing. I've seen bits and pieces. I've seen bits and pieces of the knockout. I did not watch the fight. I didn't get it just because the fight card just didn't pull me in. I almost got it just because of Cowboy versus Lawler. I almost got the fight card just because of that. I knew Tyron Woodley was going to be a boring fight versus Damian Maia. They're both pretty boring fighters. Tyron Woodley has his moments, but I know that Damian Maia is a very boring fighter. So I did not get the fight based on that, but whatever. Let's get this started.
Give us your thoughts right now.
I don't know, man. I thought the fight was going well.
It was going well.
I got kicked in the head.
He was doing a really good job at taking the fight to John Jones.
I don't think it's a good idea to interview fighters after they've been knocked out, but I really wanted to give you a
Joe
chance
knows he messed up. He's like, I said I wasn't going to do this.
It was very emotional.
God, he looks so bad, though. Look at Cormier. That looks so bad, dude.
Between you and John.
Grown man
I
crying.
don't know, man. I guess if you win both fights, there is no rivalry, so.
That was it. Wow, that was short. Dude, he looks so bad, but I understand, like, these aren't, I'm messing with my glasses because these aren't my normal glasses. I just found some in the back, and they're, they don't fit well. It's bad because he just got knocked out. When you get knocked, I've never been knocked out. I have been, one of my last sparring matches, I got blacked out, if that makes any sense. Like, I physically couldn't see. I don't know, I don't understand. I've never heard anybody talk about that. I physically could not see, but I knew where I was. It's not like I had my eyes shut. I had my eyes, like, pinned open. I couldn't see. I knew where I was. All that stuff is a long story. Maybe one day I'll get into it. But I've never been knocked out, so I don't know how that feels. So, I mean, maybe his emotions... This is like, usually I do funny videos or like I have a real strong opinion about something. But like with this, it hurts seeing like a grown man cry like that. But maybe him being knocked out and then immediately interviewed messed with him, you know what I'm saying? Because he probably doesn't remember any of that and just woke up and they're telling him, hey man, you lost. And then he's a winner, you know what I'm saying? So inside him, he's like, wow, I'm a loser. So he probably started crying from that. I don't really know. I have not watched the fight, but I did watch some highlights. Cormier was doing very well from what I heard. He was doing very well closing the distance on John Jones and hitting John Jones, which, what's his name? Dadgummit. Rumble. Anthony Johnson. Anthony Johnson has recently said that if I hit John Jones with any one of the strikes that Daniel Cormier hit him with, I'm going to knock him out. And I swear on my life, that's true. When I heard that, I'm going off into other subjects, but when I heard that Anthony Johnson was going to fight John Jones, I was seriously like, this is it. This is the fight that John Jones is going to lose. Because John Jones is so full of himself, he will allow people to strike him in the face. Not in a way Anderson Silva did, where he'd drop his hands, but he'll allow people to hit him because he's so full of himself. He wants to realize that, yes, I can take any punch this man throws at me. You do that with Anthony Johnson, he will take your head off. Anthony Johnson has Mike Tyson level striking power. So that's, when I heard that fight was going to happen, which it never happened, I think John Jones got put in jail or something crazy. I can't remember. But when I heard that fight was going to happen, I was seriously like, I will no lie put my money on Anthony Johnson. No lie. Because John Jones will let Anthony Johnson hit him, and Anthony Johnson will take his head off. Anthony Johnson snaps fools' heads off. Anthony Johnson lost to Daniel Cormier, but if you go back and watch that fight, the one clean punch that Anthony Johnson landed on Cormier knocked him completely off his feet, almost across the mat. Daniel Cormier can take a punch. and he knocked him just about across the mat. Anthony Johnson smokes fools with his hands. So I can't remember why I went off into that, but like I think John Jones would lose to Anthony Johnson. Maybe not now, but at that time with John Jones' mindset and how full of himself he was, which if you see this fight, from what I saw, Daniel Cormier is landing on John Jones. John Jones has got lucky with a quick head kick, you know. And, I mean, that's the way it goes in MMA. That's why I love MMA. But at the same time, I'm kind of mad about this fight. And this is why I didn't really buy the pay-per-view or go watch it. John Jones has fought. Once he made a name for himself fighting kind of younger fighters who I don't think were as good. None of them are really in the UFC anymore, the ones that he fought early on. Once he made a name for himself, they started throwing him legends. And with legends, yes, they have experience. They're very good, and they know what they're doing. But with legends comes age, and they're old. You're a 20-year-old freak of nature. You're huge. You know, John Jones is a big guy. And you're fighting these, 6 foot, 6'2" legends that are old. I've never really cared for John Jones because of that. And the UFC is at fault as much as Greg Jackson is at fault. John Jones is a prize fighter. They're not going to give him a fight he's going to lose. Maybe, like, right now, if you're still watching, maybe this is why y'all come to my channel for reaction videos. Because this is a 38-second video, and I'm going off into crazy directions. But John Jones is he's not gonna take hard fights. He took that fight against Gustafsson. Gustafsson did not have the reach John Jones does, but at the same time, they were both the same size, basically. And John Jones got wrecked in that fight. He won it on points, and I do agree that he won it on points, but he got wrecked. If you see, like, I wish I could see that video, the picture of him in the hospital. Alexander Gustafsson's took a selfie with John Jones, and John Jones is destroyed laying on a stretcher. I'm not kidding. It's an actual video or a picture. I'll probably pull it up here. I'll make it like right there. Bam. John Jones got wrecked in that fight, and that was the first guy that John Jones fought that was his size and his age or close to his age. John Jones has the greatest fighter ever. He has done nothing. Demetrius Johnson, to me, is probably the greatest fighter ever. A current fighter, I mean. But John Jones has done nothing but fight just old guys who need to retire. That's why I just don't care for him. I'm not going to buy his fights. I'm not going to sit here and watch him. How old's Daniel Cormier? He's in his mid to late 30s at least, to my knowledge. Plus, he's so much shorter. He has a smaller frame. I just don't, I don't care for that. I'm not going to pay my hard-earned money to watch John Jones beat up some older guy who's nowhere near his size. I'm just not going to do it. And the only guy that John Jones fought that was his size beat him pretty bad. Worse than anybody had ever beat him before. John Jones, Rashad Evans, I used to think was one of the greatest fighters ever. John Jones went 5 rounds with Rashad Evans, and it was a boring fight. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I just don't think he's that great. I don't put him up there with the greats. But whatever. I didn't like watching Cormier. I appreciate the video of Falcon's Fury. I really do. I appreciate the thing because it draws emotions out of me, and I run my mouth for 9 minutes just about here in a second. But I don't know. I just don't like watching. The dude's a competitor. I don't really like Daniel Cormier. I just don't because, he's kind of like a bro who, just doesn't get it. Like, hey, man, the fans don't like you, so obviously you're doing something to piss them off. So change your attitude or something, you know what I'm saying? Go the Rock way. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson come out as a babyface good guy, and people hated him. Once he turned into a bad guy, now people love him, and now he can be a good guy. You know what I'm saying? So you got to change something. Daniel Cormier is not doing it. He doesn't have a strong fan following. John Jones is getting a little bit of that bad guy in him, which people are starting to like. People are starting to get behind John Jones, but whatever. Falcon's Fury, no lie. Appreciate the video. I appreciate y'all watching. Subscribe to my channel, and you can request a video of your own. It doesn't matter what it is. I'll react to anything, and I'll talk about it, and I'll give you my honest opinion. I'm not going to come on here and lie. I'm not on here for the money. I'm on here just to have a good time. I like talking with y'all in the comments, when y'all comment on the video. I like talking and hanging out with people. And I really like these reaction videos. They're a lot of fun. But appreciate y'all watching anyways. Check me out SoundCloud, Instagram, Twitter, and also check me out on the streets.